Welcome back to another video. It is my heavy end of block SPD today. It is 7 p.m. and something happened yesterday that was not planned, which has resulted in me being exhausted. We also finally got a mirror put up in our hallway, which I'm excited by. That was put up last week. Yeah, so here we have Zuko, the love of my life, my firstborn child, my best mate. And something about huskies is they do thrive with a sibling. And we all knew all along that I was going to get a second dog. That was never in question. The plan was probably to rescue one that was slightly older and, you know, could help Zuko calm down. But also Zuko is at the age where he's kind of getting quite possessive of things and protective of things. And then yesterday, after a random chain of events, we ended up bringing home Azula. We have a new dog. She is 9 weeks old today. They are slowly becoming the best of friends. Zuko was very unsure last night, which is why I literally did not sleep last night. We picked her up quite late last night. And we picked her up quite late last night. And I did not sleep last night because Zuko was very stressed, obviously getting used to another dog. There's a plane going off over the house, which you can probably hear. Zuko was very stressed last night because obviously he wasn't expecting another dog in the house. Today, though, to be fair, he's actually been really good at adjusting. Also, excuse all of the mess around me. He's been really good at adjusting, and they seem to be slowly but surely becoming best mates, which is obviously what we want. It's just a case of keeping them separate a little bit so that she can get some time to actually sleep because he has a lot more energy than her. But also he's not quite aware of how big he is in comparison yet. So basically, it's been a very full-on 24 hours. We've not even had her 24 hours yet. And I'm tired. I did actually manage to get an hour's nap this afternoon, but when I say I literally slept in one long stint, I think I got an hour and a half straight. But that was on the sofa because I gave up trying to sleep in the bed. I also just felt quite stressed last night anyway, which, I mean, not that surprising. It was just a really bad night of sleep. Then obviously getting up with the dogs, trying to keep them separate when I took her out to the toilet and things. Although, we'll say, she seems to be potty trained already. We've not had one single incident indoors at all, like literally at all. And she hasn't been barking to go out either. Like, I've had to be taking her out every few hours just to make sure she goes to the toilet. So very happy about that. Zuko is, to be fair, he actually seems to be doing pretty well, so that's also very good. He is still by my side most of the day, which obviously I want to make sure that he doesn't feel like he's been replaced, which is a really big thing. Like, he is my best mate. Like, he spends all day, every day, like, by my side. He sits in my office with me when I'm working. And one thing, like, fear I would say I had was just that basically that might change. Or, like, obviously I don't mind if he then goes off and spends more time with the dog, so I want him to have a dog to play with, but I don't want to lose my little boy. But no, he has literally been my shadow still, which is great. And obviously just making sure to give him as much, if not more attention than we're giving her. And she seems pretty independent already. So that is some big news. I'm very excited to share, but I feel like death because I'm exhausted. And I've got a really heavy session planned. Now, I am going to be honest, I'm willing to take it a little bit lower than planned or lighter than planned today. Partly because this week I haven't felt super strong anyway. Also, not only last night did I not get any sleep, Wednesday night, I think it was Wednesday, yeah. Wednesday night, it was majorly hot here. Wednesday, it was like 32 degrees during the day. And at night time, it was still like 27, 28. And the UK heat is just unbearable. I ended up sleeping on the sofa because I just could not fall asleep in the heat upstairs. And Zuko just couldn't cope with the heat. Normally in the heat, he just lays down. Like, Husky's fur keeps them cooler when it's like warm. Like, if they just don't really move around a lot, they do stay quite cool. But he was really struggling. And anytime I started to actually drift off, like when I've slept down here before, because it's nighttime, he knows we just go to sleep and he'll just lay on the floor next to me or my feet on the sofa or on the other sofa that we've got. But that night, every time I like drifted to sleep, it's like he woke me up or he would be pacing around and I wouldn't be able to get to sleep. And then it got to like 5 in the morning and he was just ready to get up. So I think Wednesday night, I probably had 3 half-an-hour naps at most, like if that. So I had a really good night of sleep Thursday, but I didn't get loads of sleep, so I had to get up early. And then last night, I was really looking forward to a really good night of sleep. And then we spur of the moment. I say spur of the moment. I don't want it to sound like it was an irresponsible decision because it absolutely wasn't. Like, we knew this was going to happen at some point, and we knew that we were in a position to be able to cope with it. But I was really looking forward to a nice, good night of sleep, which didn't happen. But it's fine, and obviously it's absolutely worth it. And actually, Zuko's so good in the night that I'm hoping she picks up on his habits and it doesn't take too long. Obviously, once her bladder and everything is kind of a bit like better and she can hold the toilet in longer and stuff, that she'll kind of adapt to his schedule quite quickly, and I'll be able to sleep pretty well. So yeah, basically exhausted. But yeah, so today's session is supposed to be super heavy, loads of volume, as this session usually is. But I essentially was close to just pushing the session to tomorrow. But actually tomorrow, I think I'm going to struggle even more to find time. And I really want to make an effort to go out and train tonight as normal, so that the puppy can get used to me not being in the room obviously all day. Not that I've been in the room with her all day. Like, we have left her in her crate quite a lot today, and she's actually been really good. But I also want to see what the dynamic is like, because Zuko normally comes in the gym with me, but he's been in here quite a lot with her. I want to leave him access to this room and leave her in the crate and just kind of assess how things go, because I think that's how we're going to leave them tonight. So he has his usual run of the house, but he doesn't usually have access to the living room. But I think tonight, so that he's with her, we will. So basically, I need to train just to give them some time to adapt. But I'm so tired. If I feel really rough training, I will just squat and deadlift today, and I'll do bench tomorrow and then my accessories tomorrow. But I think I'll regret doing that. So I think I will just try and do SPD tonight, just get on with it. I still need to take Zuko on a long walk as well, because it was too hot to walk him far this morning, and it seems to be cooling down slowly. So I'm thinking by the time I finish training, it should be okay. And then hopefully a reasonably early night, just so that I can basically just have longer stints, or like more shorter stints of sleep, because obviously I'm going to be getting up for a few hours for the dog. But yeah, exciting news. I am just exhausted. Positive update though. New low weigh-in today. Didn't expect it, especially with no sleep last night and just like stressing and stuff throughout the night. I was 85.2 this morning, so very happy with that. What's been quite interesting is this week, like, I felt pretty rough a lot of the week, and normally when I feel really rough, like, I just want to eat, but this week it's actually kind of been the opposite. And I think it's partly because of the heat, but like last week I was really looking forward to going out for a nice meal this week and stuff, and it just happens that it hasn't happened. But actually I haven't really wanted to. Like, I'm quite happy to do my normal routine with my normal foods, so that's actually worked out quite well. I'm also ironically trying to do a no spend month, so I've given myself a pretty tight budget for the month, in terms of like buying books, buying clothes, anything like that, which I don't really need any clothes, so I'm going to try and not buy any this month. I only ever buy from Vinted, but that's how I justify it to myself as it being fine, which is not. So basically just trying to really focus on like saving up money and stuff at the moment as well. So yeah, trying not to order takeaway or meals out basically. Also majorly bruised my knees today, because this morning Zuko got out of my hold when I was letting them kind of have a sniff and introducing. I mean, they were already introduced to each other, but for the first half of today, we were very careful with introducing Zuko and the puppy and like letting them interact. So like I would keep my hands like close to Zuko's collar. And at one point I was going to just bring him through to the other room, and I accidentally let go of his collar, and he kind of dived at the puppy, not in an aggressive way at all. Like, he's not aggressive, but my instinct kicked in and I panicked, and I dived on the floor so aggressively. And I'm not going to show you my knees, but the skin scraped off my knee, and my left knee, and I mean, both of them have the skin scraped off, but the left knee has like a black bruise around a lot of it. So also in a lot of pain, and Niecy's not going to feel fun. But yeah, I'm going to do the plan tonight, but I'm going to just take things a little bit lighter, I think, because I have a really good idea on what I want to do next block in terms of slight tweaks. And I don't need to be super strong top end numbers right now. So I'm going to just be kind to myself and just see how I feel going in. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop talking because I keep putting off this session, and I'm going to get this done.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Wait a minute, work hard for the car, so that's why it's all tinted. Wait a minute, had a real late night, woke up with my head spinning out Nashville. It's been mad real, I need sunglasses, I need Advil. I like fake boobs, and my cash real. I like first place, you're in last deal. Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Look, pocket rocket in my pocket.
Okay, so I'm very out of breath. I've literally just done my last set of squat, which I did hardly anything, and I'm going to talk it through. But my lovely little puppy would not stop barking, so I came in to just fuss her for a minute before I go out and bench. Basically, squatting felt awful. Obviously, we have to take into account the fact that I'm just exhausted, which usually I can just push through. Because of the fact that I know that she's indoors and I don't really want to be away from her currently. Well, I do to obviously teach her to be on her own, but I want to be like with her at the moment and stuff as well. It's really late. I don't want to be training this time. Like, I'm exhausted. I did not sleep last night. I had an hour's nap this afternoon that kind of helped, but mentally I'm not really in it. And this was supposed on paper to be a really intense, really long, grueling session. But to be honest, I was kind of looking forward to. But I think last week, basically, I think my pacing for this block on my rep work, like my back off sixes, was just a little bit too aggressive because last week's back off sixes really took it out of me. And squats since that day have just felt really difficult. Like my midweek session and this session felt really hard. And I think I just set myself a bit too ambitious of a goal, which I'm still going to have those ambitious goals. And I already have a plan of what I want to do to adjust squats. Because I think, I'm not going to go over it in this video, but essentially I've got a plan with squats on what I want to trial. And usually I really beat myself up about doing this and not doing all of my work. So I only did my top set, which was supposed to, in theory, be a set of 4. It ended up being a double. And then I was also supposed to do 3x6, ideally at 160 if I felt good, but if not 155. Which 155 for 3x6, although mentally hard, it should be physically easy for me. But my knee, in my knee sleeves, felt awful. Like, actually awful. So there's that. But also, like, last week I was ill. I have to be nice to myself. Like, I was ill last week and I pushed through anyway and did all of the same numbers anyway, trained as I was kind of supposed to anyway. And yeah, I trained as I was supposed to. And I think that was a mistake as well. I think I probably should have pulled back a little bit and prioritized my recovery, because then this week, obviously I've just had nights of not great sleep and overall recovery's been down anyway. And that's just caught up with me essentially, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to go into bench and deadlifts kind of with the right attitude and see how things go. I'm going to trial possibly using straps to deadlift tonight, although I actually think they might be in the car, which if they're in the car, I'm not getting them. But basically, I just decided tonight to kind of really pull back squats. And another big reason being that my movement pattern felt so off. I genuinely felt like I just wasn't using my legs properly and I was more using my back, and I couldn't correct it. Like, I did extra warm-up sets and it just didn't feel good. And I feel like if I'd have pushed through and just done my usual plan, I would have ended up hurting myself. Plus the fact that with my knee in so much pain, my descent was like a lot slower, especially on that top double. And it just fell off. So I'm not happy with how squats went, but also like, I'm just going to brush past it, which I think shows like previous me would not have done that. Like, I'm just going to brush past it. It is what it is. I kind of know what I need to correct for next block. I think also where I'm doing these like 6-week blocks technically, on that 3rd week, I think I need to pull back a little bit more than I did this time, rather than kind of only pull back slightly, but that's fine. It's just a lesson to take into the next kind of 6-week block anyway. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop talking now that she's sound asleep now. Why couldn't she do that in her crate? She's been really good in her crate so far, but not when I'm training. So yeah, I'm going to put her back in her crate and I'm going to go on bench and hopefully get it done pretty quickly. Okay, so I keep being interrupted by dogs. So basically, I'm writing the rest of the session off. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm not writing it off. I'm going to move it to tomorrow. I feel exhausted. I started moving everything around to start benching and I was like, Sean, you literally feel like you're going to be sick. Like, I'm so tired. My knee is throbbing in pain. It's literally swelling as time goes on. And I just feel exhausted. And actually, I'm on annual leave. Like, I've got all the time in the world. I think because I have people coming over tomorrow, I'm a little bit stressed on time, but everyone coming over tomorrow also knows I need to train. I need to go to the gym to train tomorrow. So I'll just make it work. So in the morning, I think I'm going to try and get bench and deadlifts as a minimum done before anyone comes over. Because realistically, these two are going to have me up. I mean, they had me about 4:30 this morning and then they just wouldn't go back to sleep. Well, it was more Zuko, which was weird because he usually doesn't wake up until at least 7. So yeah, I'm just going to literally push it back, train in the morning, get it done in the morning, bench and deadlifts. And then if I feel good, I'll redo squats, but I just don't think it's worth it, especially because my back really did not feel good while I was squatting. So it's probably not even worth risking. And I'll just go into the new block fresher and really prioritize recovery, have a nice light week 1. Yeah, I'm just going to move on. I did also realize I've not actually eaten properly. I mean, I had my pre-workout cereal at 6, intending to train about 6:30, 6:45. Didn't start training until like 8 by the time I'd procrastinated. And my actual meal before that was at 2:30 when I got back from all the trips I had to go on this morning / this afternoon. All the errands I had to run. So that would also explain why I'm not necessarily thriving right now. It's just been a very like all over the place kind of day anyway. And I think just because yesterday was just such a shock that we got her, that I'm just, out of routine. I'm not good when I'm out of routine. But obviously absolutely worth it because she's adorable and she's actually been so good so far. So yeah, I'm going to stop talking. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow because it's just not even worth me continuing right now. We'll recoup, try to get some sleep, get some rest, even if it's just mental rest, like literally just sit and read for a little while in my bed, like, or even on the sofa with these two, like just actually chilling out and calming down. I think I need. And then tomorrow morning, we'll try again. And then I need to just find time tomorrow to actually go to the gym and do my accessories as well. Which, to be honest, I'll probably leave her home alone for the first time tomorrow. Well, she'll be home alone when I walk the dog, but like them both together home alone tomorrow. But we will see. I'm also fairly sure one of the neighbours has a puppy because last night I kept thinking I was hearing her in bed and I didn't. It was like she was sound asleep. And I'm pretty sure I just heard a puppy in the background. So that's also interesting timing. Anyway, let's stop talking and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Okay, so it is now Sunday and it is not first thing Sunday morning like I said I was going to train. Essentially, I got up at 6:30 this morning with the dogs, fully intended to kind of get up, get dressed, just come out and train first thing. But my parents are coming over today and I needed to walk Zuko before they came here and they were like, oh, we're going to be at yours by 9. So like, if you want, just train after because they're going out for lunch. And I've got some more people coming around this afternoon. So I was like, oh, actually, I'll train in the gap once my parents leave and before people come around later on. That should be fine. That should be perfect. And then I'll go do my accessories later today once people have left. So that's kind of the plan. My parents ended up getting here really late though. So it's actually 20 to 2. I did also have to listen through and upload a podcast today as well, ready for tomorrow. So that's also taken a bit of time today. And I have done a little bit of work on my annual leave, but I don't mind. I had an inquiry that I had to get back to today as well. So it's not been a full day off, but it's basically been a day off. But like, I actually got some sleep last night. So I was still being woken up I think I got up twice in the night and then I got up properly at like 6:30. But my boyfriend got home about 2 hours after I fell asleep in bed. And when he got home, Azula was kicking up a fuss because she did not want to go back in her crate after he took her out to the toilet. So I basically was up 3 times in the night, plus then getting up early this morning. But what was nice was I actually was in a good deep sleep when I was being woken up, which obviously it's not nice being woken up out of a deep sleep, but on Friday night and on Wednesday night, when I also couldn't sleep Wednesday night for whatever reason, I wasn't even getting a deep sleep. And I know I wasn't. And that's why I felt so rough after those. Whereas today, I actually feel like there was some sleep cycles kind of going on. Like I was actually past the point of just light sleep, which is good. And the best news is that the dogs have been getting on so well today. Like they're actually roughhousing with each other and playing with each other. Azula is currently just completely knocked out in her crate. She hasn't barked or whined once since I put her in there. I just brought her out to the toilet, put her straight back in, and she didn't even make a sound, didn't care. She's so tired. They've been like full on wrestling. Literally from when I first got up this morning, I took her outside and I let him come out as well because he hadn't been out all night either. And they were just playing in the garden. And so it was so good. And he was so gentle with her because he's a lot bigger than Zuko, that I didn't even feel like I needed to keep a really close eye because I trusted him to know now that he's that much bigger. And just all day they've been getting more and more confident with each other. She's like proper feisty, like biting at his mouth and pulling at him. And it's making me super happy because they're really settling in. Whereas I think yesterday I was still a bit stressed about how long it was going to take for them to fully bond and be in a position where I actually like trust them together. Don't get me wrong, I'm still leaving her in her crate most of the time because she's so small that she just fits behind every bit of furniture. Both of our sofas are electric, so they're plugged into the wall. It's got TV leads and things around. Like I'm not letting her have free reign of that room or any of the house until she's a little bit bigger. But it's nice that I can just let her follow me through to the kitchen and stuff and have him in there and it'll be fine, although he does just want to play with her constantly. But overall, my mood is a lot better because I also don't feel as stressed or worried about them getting on either. So feeling good. I'm feeling positive. I am not going to squat today, so I considered redoing my squats. And I hate myself for this because I feel like I'm not working hard enough if I'm not doing them. And that's stupid because the main reason I'm not doing them is because of my knee. Like my knee today is so bruised, so swollen. I'm not going to put it on camera. It's really uncomfortable. It's really painful. And it's just so tender to even touch that I'm not putting knee sleeves on that. Yes, I could squat sleeveless and just go a little bit lighter, but I did some squats yesterday. I did enough yesterday that next week's week 1 won't feel terrible by me just not squatting at all. So I'm just going to leave it with squats. I'm going to bench and deadlift today and just kind of go in and see how I feel. I think I made the right decision not training last night. I think had I tried to push through these last night, I would have felt awful. And it also would have made me feel even worse today because I would have gone to bed even later last night. So that's kind of the plan. That's what I'm thinking. I feel a lot of guilt when this happens. Not, I'm going to say when this happens. I literally never do this. I always stick to the plan, like, completely religiously. But I feel a lot of guilt about the fact that I'm not getting all of my squats done and that things haven't played out how they should do. But the reason they're not going as they should do, and this is kind of why I'm talking about it, is because it's a lesson to myself that when I'm unwell, sometimes I need to pull back. Whereas last week when I was genuinely ill, I didn't pull back. And I regretted it, and everything felt harder than it should do during that time I was ill, and I just still stuck to the plan 100% anyway, and that then had more of a trickle-down effect to my squats feeling terrible all of this week. So it's frustrating, but it's something for me to just learn from. I have a lot of really, like, I think I'm going to change up some stuff with squats next block. I'm really excited by the changes, but I'm also a little bit nervous because it's leaning a little bit away from kind of what I'm currently doing in a way, but I will explain that obviously in the next week's videos as the week goes on. But I already know kind of what I'm planning for next block. And to be honest, the biggest win from this block, even though my hamstring issue is a little bit uncomfortable today, is that I've managed to do 3 blocks with lower body accessories, targeting my hamstring area and doing actual isolation work for my hamstring. And I haven't had the injury come back. Like, I've had the odd flare up. And I think, to be honest, by the time I finish deadlifting today, I'll probably have some discomfort again. But it's nothing compared to how it used to be. And that fills me with so much happiness because it means that, like, things are getting better. So massive win anyway from these last few blocks, even if strength-wise, I don't show up how I wanted to this block. And it's only squats, so that's the case. And we'll see how bench and deadlifts go. I'm not writing anything off yet. But yeah, that's a big win. Basically, want to say that. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking and bench.
Please don't make me pop it. All these boys just wanna copy the style. Tell them niggas stop it. Whoa, whoa. This my destiny. Feeling like Latoya, like it found me my Beyonce. And she shotgun in the carpet. Grinding with the team, making C notes. In my pocket still full of green, call it CeeLo. Alligator watch on me, Tim Tebow. And these haters love to watch me like Tebow. Look, I don't take L's, I just learn a lesson. Before I count the M's, always count my blessings.
So, last 1 foot 110 felt fantastic. Last block, I hit the easiest 115 double. It was super comfortable. I was fairly confident that if I just kept the momentum going, I'd probably be able to double 117 and hit PB. Failed 115 on the first rep. I'll be honest, I feel better in myself than I did yesterday, but I feel generally pretty rough still. So I'm just probably going to just go through the motions this session, which I hate myself for. And I don't like admitting this like publicly. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to strip the bar and load 90. Going to do a couple sets of 5 just to keep the movement pattern in, make sure that things don't detrain. I'm going to do my sumo deadlift. I'll see how I feel warming up with sumo, potentially stick to the plan, but also potentially just kind of do some very light sets, again, just to keep the movement in because sumo's been feeling really good lately. And I think we're just going to reset. Tomorrow's a rest day anyway. I will probably still go into my accessories tonight because the rehab stuff and everything, and like they've been making me feel pretty good. But I think I'm going to just maybe treat this weekend as a bit of a reset, and then next block sort myself out. Yeah, that's not what I want to happen. But like, the positive is I'm not beating myself up over it. Like, I am frustrated, but I'm also like, there are reasons behind it. It is okay. Like, I am someone that can push through the worst externals. Like, genuinely, I will just train through anything. But I also haven't felt this rough in a really long time. Like, obviously, it's like lack of sleep and stuff. And like I said, I feel better today than I did yesterday, but I'm still running on like 4 hours of sleep. Like, realistically, maybe a little bit more, but like between 4 and 5 probably at most. And that was all broken up. So like, it is what it is. It is what it is. I feel a little bit dizzy as well. I don't really know what that is. I think, to be honest, I genuinely think I need a bit of a refeed. I think my weight's just been dropping pretty quickly. My average weight this week is down another ½ kilo on last week. And my steps haven't even been as high because I've just not been able to, I don't think I spoke about that yesterday. Like, my steps this week just haven't been where I want them to be, which that's a big thing that I've been really like being on myself for. But with my, I think it was the heat wave Wednesday made me not do as many steps. And then I tried to like make up for it the rest of the week, but then Thursday I just didn't get any sleep. I still managed to get like 12,000 in on Thursday, but there was no way I was going above that because I was just so exhausted. And then getting a Zula on Friday, yesterday, I was running errands backwards and forwards all day. And then, I mean, I took Zuko on 2 walks, but I still managed to only get like 9,000, maybe 10. And then today we'll kind of see what ends up happening. Luckily it's a bit cooler today, so I should still be able to get Zuko on a really long walk this evening. But like, it's just not been feasible, which happens and it's life, but I hate that it's happening because like I am athlete Sean, I am really trying to lock back in fully as the athlete. But I do think part of this is probably related to the weight loss, which I don't like to say because I'm not eating a stupidly low amount. Like I'm eating enough food. Like I feel fine on this food, but my weight has fallen off. Like literally 3 weeks ago, roughly, I was like 87.5 kilos and now I'm low 85s. It's literally flying off. So I think that's probably something I should also maybe just let myself have a bigger meal. To be honest, I probably should have some extra carbs today just because I feel like I need something extra in my system. But I don't feel like I need to have like a big blowout meal, which is a nice feeling. Like I don't really want that. I just kind of want a little bit extra of what I've been having, which is a nice feeling to have. Like I just literally, to be honest, I've got some jam and I've got some bread. Like I might just have some jam on toast as a nice little post-workout with a protein shake, and then just have my dinner later like normal and just get some extra carbs straight in my system. But I'm going to reevaluate my weeks of training anyway. Like I'm actually going to, like my weekly split, I'm going to move around. So I'm not going to go in and just like, oh my God, I've had a bad block. I'm going to just tear everything up because that's obviously not smart. The block before this one was fantastic. That 3-week block before was so good. And I know that the only reason this block hasn't been as good is just because of life stresses and other things, like, and me not being sensible last week and just pushing through when I definitely didn't feel up to even training, let alone sticking to my normal plan. So I know that the overall kind of everything I'm doing is right. It's just how I've approached it this block. And I also think I'm probably going to be better off just adjusting the days I'm doing certain things, especially now we have Azula, because I think like my Saturday SBD, if I was to like, do the whole thing yesterday like I was planning to, realistically, if I was actually going to do, like if I'd have actually managed to do everything like I was training normally, that would probably take me 2 to 3 hours, which I don't really want to be training for 2 to 3 hours right now. Like obviously if it's what I need to do to progress, I will, but it's not what I need to be doing because my weekday sessions are like an hour at most. So if I just shuffle around what days I'm doing certain things, I think that will also make things a lot easier for me to kind of get in, especially now having Azula. I don't like leaving obviously her indoors for ages at a time either. Don't get me wrong, obviously I'm not home alone all the time, so it's fine. But I think maybe putting my primary deadlift during the week might be an idea. I need to sit down tomorrow and really like think it through properly, but I wanted to get the block finished first before I did that. But yeah, I already have an inkling of kind of stuff that I'm going to shuffle around a little bit just to make it a little bit easier to fit everything in. But yeah, bench did not go how I wanted it to then. And yeah, I just think I'm just going to kind of go through the motions, just kind of get some things done, but not push it too much and just allow myself a bit of kindness for this block is what I'm going to do.
I'm too sure, never second guessing. Got some money put up for the rain, so I'm never stressing.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat.
Okay, so single on sumo, actually happy with. The plan is technically to go heavier than that, but because of how I'm feeling and how the day has been, I'm just going to call it a 165. That felt super comfortable, probably like a 7 at most. So I'm really happy with that. I think I could go up, but then it's going to be the territory of me feeling nervous and just with the drop off that I've had, like even on bench, my last one at 110 felt easy, which is why I went to 115 and the drop off was crazy. So I'm not going to even risk it. What I'm going to do though, is because deadlifts are feeling pretty good, I'm still going to do my rep work. I'm not going to do my back off set of 4, but I'm going to do my lighter 6s and just get the movement in. And then we're just going to start fresh. We're just going to start fresh. It's all going to be fine. I'm really proud of the fact that I'm not beating myself up over this though, but I think it's because I have already got ideas of what I need to do. And I think I'm just like, one thing I'm really trying to do now with self-coaching again is put myself in the position or as the client and like, imagine that it's a client coming to me and talking to me about how they're feeling, what's been going on around them and that sort of thing. And trying to like navigate it as if it's not me, it's actually just a client and just separate that, which is not something I've always been great at doing, even though I think I've been really good at self-coaching this, like obviously previously anyway. That is one area that I think sometimes like, I think that's why I used to get so down when stuff didn't go to plan because I just wasn't able to take, I'd take the pressure off of myself as the athlete. And like, obviously when you have a coach, you can go to the coach and talk to them about it and they'll essentially reassure you, right? So I'm just trying to like do that with myself, if that makes sense. Definitely noticed energy crash though, like basically when I started training, which isn't too much of a surprise. And I think this is where you can tell as well that it is just general exhaustion causing the problems, because usually when I'm tired just from life or like a couple of nights of bad sleep or whatever it is, I start to feel more awake when I'm training and I feel better as I'm moving more. Whereas today that is not the case at all. Like it's the opposite. It's not as bad as it was last night. Like it takes a lot for me to move the rest of my session to the next day. But it's definitely like, I don't feel good. Like I'm not waking up as I train. Like I'm just kind of crashing quicker and quicker. So it's all fine then. I'm going to get the rest of sumo done. And then, yeah, I'm glad sumo showed up still and it felt good. Like the movement feels good and everything, which is nice. And I was a bit worried about my back, to be honest, because when my back flared up before Bench Worlds, it was when I was pulling sumo. And when I was squatting yesterday, like normally squatting never hurts my back. Like even when my back's flared up really badly in the past, I can still squat. But last night when I was squatting, like it just didn't feel sensible to carry on because something just felt off in my back. So relieved that my back feels okay today. My hamstring issue feels okay. It's not getting necessarily worse from deadlifting. I'm just aware of it, but I know that will pass quickly anyway, and like the rehab stuff I'll do anyway. So all is fine. All is fine. We're going to be mature about it, and we're just going to move on. I will put the weekly averages on the end screen, so steps for the week, which are down, and I'm aware that they're down, but like I said earlier, there are reasons for it. It's not something I'm going to slack on. It's within my control to sort. I still intend to get those in, and next week actually. Because it is annual leave, even though obviously we've got Azula, I do have the free time. And what I'm really conscious of doing is making sure that she gets used to not having loads of attention in the mornings, because that's when I do the bulk of my work. So I intend to get up in the mornings, kind of shower, get ready for the day, have breakfast. And then I'm going to take Zuko on a really long walk, come back and probably train in the morning. So on the days I'm training, so that she's left like for the mornings, like I say, like she needs to get used to that. Just because I can't obviously entertain a puppy while I'm working. And that's one thing we did with Zuko, like when we first got him, I worked from home. So like I would sit upstairs, obviously coaching whatever I'm doing. And I would just leave him in his pen downstairs, and it got him really used to like leaving me alone when I work. Like he does sometimes try and play with me now when I'm working, but for the most part, he just sleeps in the mornings, which is great. It also means that on the weekends, if we have things to do, errands to run, like he's comfortable being left in the mornings and it's not weird for him. And obviously we want to just instill that in her as early as possible. So that's kind of the plan. So mornings will be long walks with Zuko. Need to avoid my office because I am on annual leave. I'm like telling myself that I'm not going to be going and sitting in my office and just doing other bits. Like I'm having the week off. The only thing I've got work-wise is 2 podcasts to film, one on Monday, one on Tuesday. But the Monday one is like 8 p.m. So that's fine. It's super late. I'll just do that. My boyfriend will be in charge of the dogs and I can just have a really chill day until then. And then I think the Tuesday one is like 4 p.m. So all is fine. All will be good. And I'm really looking forward to the episodes, to be fair. So nothing I'm going to complain about. Anyway, I'm going to wrap the video up here. Thank you very much. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate it. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you in a few days for the next one.
Been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the